is Terry Williams. I am a teacher, I was a teacher in Broward County Schools for over 16 years.
My name is Alina Tello Cordon, and my background, I'm Hispanic. I was born in Guatemala, and I lived there for 2 years, and my parents were born and raised in Guatemala, and the rest of my entire family is in Guatemala, so that's a big part of my culture.
My name is Christian Rodriguez, and I am of Latino descent. I am 18 years old, and my mother's from Venezuela, my dad's from Puerto Rico. I was born in Florida, though.
My name is James A. Lewis, and I'm Haitian, born and raised in Haiti.
My name is Maria Paz. I'm Colombian, born and raised till the age of 7. I moved here when I was 8, 7.5, and I lived in Florida ever since.
My name is Sheila Carpenter, and I learnt of Safe School through PFLAG, which is an association specifically designed to help parents and friends of gay and lesbian children. And through PFLAG, I found the compelling situation of safe schools, and I applaud it. And I think had this been in situ in my early life with my young family, the problems I had with my eldest son would have not occurred.
I became involved with Safe School South Florida because I had a student commit suicide. His suicide note said, "Please tell them I'm not gay." And I went to my principal and asked, what are we doing? What are we doing as an institution to protect these children? And she said, "Terry, let it roll off your back. It's not our problem." And that really lit a fire under me.
When I was a little kid, I didn't know what my difference is called and I didn't think there was nothing wrong. It's just my culture, the community I was raised in. It's like being gay is wrong. That's what they've been teaching, and this is how they was raised. I didn't think that was wrong at all. But since I was there for the past 14 years, pretty much they make me become one of them, make me hate myself for who I am, make me hate myself for being different.
I did have a violent history with my father. We would always lock heads, and it would always amount to a physical fight of some sort. You know, I didn't mention in my story before the depth of what happened. You know, we were just yelling and having an argument, and then suddenly it broke out into a physical fight. I mean, he had me in a chokehold. He threw me into the wall, threw me onto the floor. And, you know, fighting back and just trying to gain my ground was difficult, you know, because he was a stronger person than I was. Granted, I had the support at school, but I was thinking, you know, will I always have to wear this mask when I come home? You know, will I always have to just force myself away from them? I mean, granted, I had my strong feelings against my father and my mother, but still, I remember we used to go hunting and fishing. We would spend a lot of time together, father and son. And then now all of that stuff stopped when I turned 13 because I started acting differently or exhibiting some sort of different behavior. And I just missed those times where it was so much simpler.
My eldest son was bullied by a teacher, in so much as that he would lock himself into the car every morning before we took him to school. We were then hailed to go and see the headmistress, and were told that he was a disruptive force in the class, and as such we should take him to see a psychologist, which we did. Eventually we were told that he was fine, he was just a normal child, and basically we were wasting the psychologist's time. However, this went on for quite a few months, and it wasn't until the teacher in question retired that we actually learned the truth of what she was doing to my son.
You think that your first time experiencing love would be just a really happy, joyous time. And even though it was also a source of a lot of stress and turmoil for me, because it was a love that I couldn't share openly with my family, and she couldn't share with hers either. I'm 24 years old, and I've tried to commit suicide several times. I drank heavily at a very young age, and I did a lot of illegal and legal drugs. I was hospitalized for depression. I had many times in my life where I felt completely alone, even though I did have friends around me. And I never felt close to my family. The people that you're supposed to be closest to, I felt alienated from my own parents because of my identity and because of my fear of being honest with them.
The most challenging thing I faced growing up is to accept myself for who I was, for who I am. Because it was very hard, because for the past 18 years of my life, my mind was, okay, something's wrong with you, being gay is wrong, and this is what they've been teaching me. The main problem is this is what I've been taught. And it was very difficult for me to accept myself. It took me all 18 years of my life. I accept myself this year, like completely without a doubt, that I'm a beautiful gay man.
The key point when I said I wanted to do something about it was one of those nights where I was crying because I got tired of, trying to contain my crying, trying not to cry to the point where I'm like wailing so they could hear me in the other room or whatnot. I told myself, if they're not going to support me, if I'm not going to get support from anyone else, I have to support myself. I have to be the strong one. I have to stand up and say this is wrong and I need to do something about it.
Well, after high school, my biggest obstacle, I think, has been when I realized that when I became attracted to a man, I had gotten so set on this label of, I'm a lesbian, this is who I am, that I forgot that, labels are they're just labels. They can't completely define a person.